Ah, there we go, man. YouTube, what is up? We are back with another video. We missed the snatches yesterday because some gremlins broke into my car and decided to steal my gym bag. They took my lifting shoes, they took my straps, they took my belt, they took my brand new OVR, and we were down horrendous yesterday. They took our tripods, we weren't able to film anything yesterday. It was just total shit show, but we are back in action today. We got new Oli shoes here. Ooh, shiny. Look at these. We're gonna see if these are any good. The review on these is basically gonna be based strictly off how much we clean today. So if we clean a lot, it's because of the shoes, and if we don't clean a lot, it's because of the shoes. So whatever that brand is about to get a plug based strictly off my performance today. And I'm not sure if there's a more fair measurement of an Olympic lifting shoe because the equipment makes the athlete. But we got no belt and no straps today. No straps is probably a good thing so my dumbass doesn't go and break myself on these cleans and we stick with that hook grip. But like, dude, what are we doing? What are we stealing that stuff for? Like, if you're stealing because you need to pay and feed your family, like, oh, I respect, man, respect, truly respect. But you can't resell that stuff, man. You stole a bunch of stuff you can't resell. Nobody's buying my old Oli shoes. I just have to buy a new pair of Oli shoes. So if you're the one to steal my stuff, you can leave it at the gym door. We'll let you in. We won't beat you up too bad. But we are down bad with that OVR. We have no OVR, and I'm not sure if I really want to buy one after just buying one 3 weeks ago and becoming the sports scientist. So maybe it was a sign from the universe that we're not a true sports scientist. But today we got some sprints. Just finished those up. We had some skips for distance, straight leg bounds for speed, and then we had some skips into 20-yard sprints. Then we had zigzag broad jumps and 50-pound jump mat jumps. I'm gonna show those here right when we're done with the intro. We'll try and hit 30 on that 25-pound jump mat, which would be pretty sickening. Then we got a couple warm-ups for the Olympic lifts today. So we had that super stretch that we did last week. We're putting the band, stretching that tricep. That one felt money. I just got that done. And then we got that empty bar series where we got those roll unders. We're pulling it up nice and slow under. We got the side to sides. We got the presses, and we got the full range of motion. We just finished those up too. So we're pretty primed for these cleans. And hopefully we pull something good today. We got those stop, drop, and roll cleans that we had last week where we're powering it, stopping at the bottom position, dropping back into it, exploding back up. So we got those for the first 10. And then KDOT's letting us open up today for our birthday. And we're gonna see what we got in the tank today. So let's get after it. Let's go. All right, so our horizontal jump movement problem today is these zigzag broad jumps. We got 4 zigzags, trying to explode out, get a new record here. We got 2 rounds of this, and 2 shots at glory to hit a new PR on camera. So let's get it, here we go. Oh, let's go. Don't even need 2 rounds. Oh, let's fucking go. That is a good 2-round series. Let's get some dumbbell jumps. Let's get after it. All right, then vertical jump movement problem today is 25 pounds in each hand, just standing jump mat vertical. Goal is to break 30. My highest today, I think, is like a 26.8. But we were feeling springy and poppy, man. I don't want to equate it directly to starting Olympic lifts because I think if I train this hard and this focused with a lot of other things, the vertical would probably be very similar. But since starting the Oli lifts and since training hard again, the pop on a lot of this vertical and horizontal jump stuff has just been feeling so good, so explosive. And I just love the feeling of feeling strong in the ground. It really helps my like earth bending abilities to like just feel that ground just a little bit longer, be able to push off and push force through there. And I think a lot of times when I don't have that strength aspect, I focus a little bit too much on that elasticity piece, or I'm just a fat fuck and I'm not training. I really lose that ability to feel the ground underneath my feet and really lose the ability to feel that push against the ground. And when I lose that ability, I just feel weak in everything that I do. And I just love having that feeling back. And the Olympic lifts have definitely given me that feeling back. And again, I don't want to equate it. I don't want to make Olympic lifts sound like it's the ultimate vertical jump trainer. I think there's a lot of benefit to them. If you think about it, it's just like a weighted jump, like a bunch of weighted jumps, a bunch of explosive work that you're doing that you probably wouldn't be doing otherwise. But I think you can get similar results without doing it. It's just something that allows me to actually train it with some focus rather than doing like a bunch of supercat stuff. The supercat machine is super fun. I don't have a metric on it. It doesn't drive me to go and continue and do it. So then I stop doing it, or I just don't do it with as much intent as I would like. Whereas with the Olis, I have that dopamine hit of chasing something every single day that I'm doing them. And the results working, man. I'm feeling explosive. So let's get after this jump. Let's go. Oh, come on. 27.7, let's go. Only one of my athletes beat me this morning, Henry. He is one of the least focused athletes of all time. He walks up here this morning, first jump, just acting like nothing, just springs up in the air for a 32. It's fucking unreal. With 25 pounds, 50 pounds total in his hands. And he's about a 230-pound athlete. He's an absolute freak, but his focus levels are 0. And he is a racehorse, and if we can get the focus, he's gonna be a freak, because a 32 on this is unbelievable. But let's chase a 30 here. Let's get it. Oh! 28.2, we're still climbing. Let's get one more jump in here, see if we can break that barrier. Oh, come on, give me something. Woo, 28.3. That's a pretty solid day on those. Let's get some cleans. Let's get after it. All right, so we got 10 minutes here. Every minute on the minute of these stop, drop, and roll cleans is like they call them. You stop it, you drop it, you roll back up with it. We did these last week. They're feeling really nice in the warm-ups. These new shoes, massive heel elevation compared to my old ones, which I kind of like because my mobility is a little bit shittier than I would like. So it kind of drops me in that squat, which is nice, but they're definitely stiffer. There's no way I'm doing any jumps. And the other ones, like, they're a little bit more loose. They're a little bit more athletic. I feel like I could do a lot. These are very high incline with that heel and pretty stiff for the Oles, but that's what they're used for, right? So we were kind of irresponsible and booked a pickleball session at 5. It is currently 4:30, so we're probably only going to get cleans done on the camera, and then I'll come back after pickleball and rip my pulls and my squats that we have today. We're still going to get after it today. So we got 5 reps at this weight, then 5 reps with a 5 on. We're supposed to keep it breezy, keep it explosive, and then we get 5 open reps to kind of get after it, and from there we're just going to explode and see where we kind of take it today. Let's get after it. Oof, let's go. After rewatching these last week, I really thought I was catching it lower than I was and wasn't getting that height that I like. But I rewatched it back, and I was actually doing a pretty good job of catching it above parallel, then dropping in. So it's kind of cool that we're picking up on those little nuances and feeling the things that we want to feel in that clean and picking up on those smaller details rather than just meatheading it. So I kind of like that process. All right, let's hit the second rep here. Oof! Woo! Oof! Let's go. The form on these is feeling significantly better than last week. Obviously, week 2 doing them is probably a big reason why. But the actual pull and explosiveness, I feel like we had our first softball tournament this weekend, first sanctioned softball tournament this weekend. We ended up winning it. It was a fucking really sweet tournament. Me and Dan kind of went off. I had a great tournament, so it was super fun. But I think I'm a little bit fatigued from that tournament yet because the pull itself just does not feel as explosive. Hopefully that starts to warm up, but if the technique stays the same, maybe it'll balance itself out and we get something big today. Let's get it. Woo. Add 5 pounds for less 5 reps. All right, 235 on the bar. Keep it poppy. Let's go. Oof! God, that's feeling clean. Oof! Hey! Oof! Hey! Oof! Hey! All right, last rep of this weight, then we got 5 open sets. We'll probably extend that 5 open sets. We'll just keep going until we can't do it. So let's rip. Here we go. First open set, we're staying nicotine free until we get to 275. So if that's not a win, I don't really know what is. Really liking these shoes. I really like that heel elevation. Missing my belt today, so I'm gonna have to go banded belt, and I think that might actually fuck me. That might be the biggest limiting factor today if I can't keep that brace. But the form on these is feeling pretty clean. So hopefully I can keep that as it goes heavy. Otherwise we're gonna get body because that pull isn't there today. So let's get after it. Here we go. All right, band, belt, engaged. Let's get after it. Here we go. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if it's the shoes and the heel elevation. It's just the body today, but it feels like the bar, and when I'm watching it on video, the bar looks like it's moving in slow motion. It looks like I'm doing almost a no-foot clean. Very little movement, very little explosiveness from that lower body, but it feels so smooth and buttery right now that I'm not trying to go slow. It just feels very connected and very easy, and I don't really want to fuck that up yet. So I think we're gonna have to turn up the speed here a little bit as it gets heavier, but man, it's feeling buttery. It just looks a little goofy. So maybe it looks goofy because my old form was so shit, and maybe this is the unlock that we need, but we're about to find out. Let's get after it. Oof. I mean, it's butter right now. It's butter. Throwing on some pancakes. Let's go. But yeah, we got some nicotine gum instead of Zins. My very first nicotine experience, Jake Tura handed me a piece of nicotine gum, a half piece of it, right before our podcast. He gave it to me. It was about like a year ago. We were in DC with Eric Guthrie in his office. I know we were recording on Jake's podcast. He handed me a piece of gum, chewed it, and I couldn't shut the fuck up for like 2 hours. I was like, dude, what the fuck is this? And that was the start of the nicotine addiction. So it's all Jake Tura's fault, but we got the gum back. If you haven't tried the nicotine gum and you're a nicotine user, if you're not a nicotine user, stay away. Like, don't start that journey. But if you are a nicotine user, try the gum sometime. I like it. It's a different experience. Oh, I got a little too far forward there. Damn. Felt really smooth up until that point. That's where that pull's coming in. Let's lock back in. That felt so smooth. So rewatching that and just based off that feel, the heel elevation is allowing me to sink into the bottom of that squat so much nicer, and I think that's why it's feeling so kind of different and just goofy and a little bit smoother. It's eliminating that mobility piece at the bottom, whereas before I felt a little sticky in the hips. Maybe the hips are just feeling good today, but I really think it's that heel elevation. But when I got to the bottom, I was so far tipped forward because of that heel elevation, I just kind of fell forward without being able to sit in those heels. So I'm gonna sit in the heels a little bit more here, hopefully keep it as buttery as it's been. That'd be kind of sickening. Let's go. Oh yeah. Woo! All right, we got like 5 minutes before pickleball starts. So we're gonna finish up these cleans. We're gonna attempt this, see how it feels. If we get this, that's sickening, we'll add a little bit more weight. We'll attempt that until we get buried. Then we're gonna hop in the car, go to pickleball. I'll come back and hit my pulls. So a little bit 2-hour break in between the two camera pieces, but we'll get everything in today. All right, we gotta get after this. Let's fucking go. Ah, there we go, man. No pop today. Pretty buttery though. Let's go play some pickleball. We'll be back with some cleans after. Let's get it. All right, we are back after intermission. We just got done cooking some old people in some pickleball. It was actually a pretty good league. 3-5 to 4-0, right around my skill level. Those 4-0 guys are a little bit above my skill level, but we compete, we grind, and we put some effort into that pickleball court that has not been seen. But we got after it, got some dubs, and we are back 2 hours later. We're gonna finish up with some shrug pulls here, and then we got 4 sets of 2 squats from yesterday that we didn't finish up. Just speed, explosive squats there. So should be a pretty fun little end of the workout. Did 1 set of these. We got 4 sets of 3 here. Just kind of hop back into ripping this bar off the ground. It felt like shit ripping the bar off the ground after being a little bit cold and not warming up into it. But hopefully second set's a little bit better. So let's get after it. Let's go. Oh, that felt better. Let's go. I've really been loving how much stronger my back and these pulls have been feeling since increasing the pull volume. And it kind of touches on the point, and the cleans did today too, especially with that front rack position, right? Like so many people have been giving front rack cues over and over and over again and just talking about how it's a technique issue. And K-Dot made this point today in one of his posts, how most of the time the technique issue is just a physical issue. So you're not strong enough to get in that position, you're not mobile enough to get in that position. These things are just getting exposed as a technical flaw, and no amount of cue is really gonna fix that. The cues have their place. Technical stuff kind of has a slight place, but most of the time if you just build out the physical qualities to allow your body to get into those positions, most people understand where they're kind of supposed to be and the positions they're supposed to find themselves in, right? Like it's not always perfect, but they have a general idea of it. Like I knew my elbows weren't supposed to be here when I'm catching the fucking bar, right? Like nobody's trying to catch the bar like that. Everybody's just throw your elbows higher, throw your elbows higher. It's like, dude, my fucking triceps and lats are tight as fuck. So K-Dot, instead of taking the approach of just cueing it more technically, he took the physical approach of opening my triceps and lats up with that super rack position, and it was a total game changer, right? So I just think a lot of times when you're so over-focused, especially if it's a technical flaw that has been there for a while, when you get super focused on just perfecting that technical cue with like 50 to 60% of the weight on the bar, there's just not a lot of bang for your buck that you're getting out of that exercise. There's not a lot of bang for your buck that you're getting out of that technical work. Because most of the time it's a strength issue, it's a physical issue, it's a mobility issue. And when you start to add the weight on, that technical component that you're working on anyways isn't going to carry over. Your 50 to 60% technical work is not the same as your technical work at 80 to 90%, especially when it comes to Ollie lifts and the heavier type power lifts, right? So I just really love his kind of thought process and approach to those things. Start with the physical, start with those big rocks. Start with your actual rate limiting factors, fix those things, then go back into your actual craft and the thing that you're working on, and let your body self-organize to get into the position that you need to get into. And then that's what it's doing already when you're finding technical flaws, right? When I'm catching the bar like this, it's self-organizing because it knows it doesn't have the mobility to get into that position, right? So that's why it's catching there. It's not some misunderstanding in my brain of where the bar is supposed to be, right? And I just think a lot of people just totally misunderstand the power of cues and the power of technical work, and they just way overemphasize that aspect rather than putting in the hard work of going to fix those physical qualities. I just totally agree with K-Dot's post there, and I'm a living, breathing example of it in a lot of the things that I've pursued. You go actually pursue the task and you go fix the things that are limiting you in the task. Try to perfect the 50% of that task. It just typically does not carry over in any aspect. All right, let's get our third set in here. Let's go. Ooh, let's go. I just reread his post just to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding him. And the last quote that he has is, "Your technique is your muscles," from Kevlov. And that might be my all-time favorite fucking quote from a fucking monster of a human. So we might tattoo that on our fucking foreheads. Your technique is your muscles. And a lot of people just need a little bit bigger muscles. So let's get bigger muscles here. Let's get our last set in. Oof. let's go. All right, then we got 4 sets of 2 speed squats here with these bands. Yesterday, I was supposed to build up to a heavy set of 1, drop back down 80% of that, hit 4 sets of 2. But we got called into work after a heavy set of 1, so I wasn't able to get that 4 sets of 2 in, and we were garbage yesterday. We were beat up. But anyways, knees are a little creaky from squatting yesterday and then squatting again today, but we're gonna get after it. We got 4 sets of 2. K-Dot said, disrespect the weight. We're gonna do our best to do that. Let's get after it here. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, all right, set number 2 here. That set actually felt pretty good, but we're gonna try and disrespect the weight even just a little bit more. Something I'm trying out that's a little bit new is we're gonna creatine max for the next couple months. Just see where it takes us. I've been in the biohacking Twitter feed a little bit too long and hearing everybody talking about the massive benefits they've been getting cognitively from spamming creatine 10 to 25 grams a day. We're gonna start out for 15. We're gonna see how we feel. I've never really taken more than 5 grams of creatine in a day, and usually when I take 5 grams, I've never really noticed a massive difference. So we're gonna spam it. We're gonna creatine max. We're gonna 15 grams for maybe a month. See how it feels. If we're feeling cooking, maybe we bump it up to 20. Maybe we bump it up to 25. But that's the next little biohacking mission for us. Creatine maxing. So if we have sickening gains, it's not a needle. It's the magic power of creatine. Let's get after it. All that creatine talk made me think about in high school. I was brought to my principal's office where I had to have a sit-down conversation with the principal and the athletic director and my head football coach about how they found steroids in my locker. And they just kept waiting for me to admit that that I had steroids in my locker. And I kept telling them I don't have any steroids in my locker. What are you talking about? And I was like 220 pounds at this time in high school. I was not. I mean, I was decently strong. I was nowhere near freaky. It was a compliment to be able to get that steroid acquisition, but I was just nowhere near the size of somebody on steroids. I just kept saying, no. Like, no, we have your steroids with us. Like, it's right here. Just admit you have it. I kept denying. I'm like, show me the steroids. What are you talking about? And they pull out my bottle of creatine that they took out of my locker, and they thought the creatine was some illegal substance and some black market steroids that I was taking and just huffing before I go out on the field. So that if there's any indication of how far the field has came, it's creatines used to be viewed as a massive steroid. Maybe it still is in high school settings, but I think most people are pretty aware of benefits of creatine and how normal it is. But yeah, that made for an interesting day of them setting that creatine bottle on the ground, and me as a senior or junior in high school having to explain to them that it wasn't steroids and that I had got that at Walmart. So hopefully when we creatine max, we get a little bit more steroid acquisitions again, and maybe we'll get sat down with somebody on Instagram, and they'll accuse me of steroids again, and they'll show me my creatine bottle. So let's get after it. 3rd set here. All right, last set here, and before we go, I wanted to answer Zachary Ade's question in the last YouTube video where he asked a question about how he's between a CSCS and a NASM cert. He's just got his master's degree and is leaving his graduate assistant role, and he's in between going private sector, college sector, and in between getting the certs and wondering if the certs are even worth it. And while I don't truly believe the certs are worth it, like if you are balling on a budget, you really don't have money, you really don't have time, I do not think the cert is really going to keep you from any job unless it's a college job where they require it, and then it's just your barrier to enter and you have to have it. Nobody in the private sector is ever going to ask if you have your CSCS or your NASM cert, right? Like all they care about is results, and in your marketing to get them in the door to show them that you can get results. And when you take the test, you're really not going to learn anything. And as brutal as that is, like you're really never going to use anything that you study from that NASM or the CSCS in the real life certification. However, then this is going to come off as a bit of a paradox. I would still suggest you get your CSCS, and I would go CSCS over the NASM just because I think it's more respectable in the field. But if you're in between actually doing it and doing it or not, I think at one point in your life, saying you were CSCS certified, saying you went through the system, saying you did all of this stuff, before you talk trash about it, before you say certs are BS, and before you do any of that in your future career, I really do believe you should go through the box. And I think it's going to prove to yourself that you are a knowledgeable strength coach. And it just gives you more wiggle room to kind of talk about the things. I think it's really weird to talk about something that you haven't actually experienced, you haven't actually gone through. And I don't believe that the time commitment to go take your CSCS is really that high. The cost is a little bit high. You're probably going to spend, I think it's right around $1,000 with everything, with the study books, the study materials, taking the test, and all of that type of stuff. But I studied for it in a month. I bought a used book, I bought a like $30 study guide, and I took the test and passed it. And I do believe going through that certification process is worth it, so that on the back end you can say that you went through the system before you start talking smack about the system, right? And I just think there's a lot of young coaches out there that really have never gone through the system, and they're just kind of parroting a lot of things that the other coaches are saying, and I don't believe that comes off as very authentic. So if you have the time, you have the resources, you're thinking about doing it anyways, I would just take the CSCS, get it done with, say you did it, put those letters behind your name for a little bit. Maybe it gets your foot in the door somewhere, especially if you're not sure if you want to go private sector or college sector. At least it keeps the door open for both of those options. And then when you're done with it, you can really see how much bullshit it is. Again, if you're balling on a budget, if you ask, do you really need it? I really do not think you need it. I really do not think you'll ever use it. If you have the time, if you've done your master's already, you're already doing the graduate assistant role, I think you should finish up that system and just say you did it one time and then probably never renew it again. So that's my thoughts on that. I don't think you're overthinking it. I think there's a lot of stuff out there with the certs, but I think the way to get rid of that anxiety of should you take it or not is to just go do it. Just spend the next month studying for it, put a little bit of money out there, invest in your career, take it, pass it, say you did it, and then realize how much bullshit it is. All right, so last set here, let's go. Oof. Oof. Let's go. Boom. It's a sickening day. Appreciate you guys watching. Keep chopping wood.